finger picking group that Carolyn and I are in.
Oh,
And I find that the song, like I wake up and the song is there, and then I change the notes a little bit. And I
you are
have a,
becoming a composer because that what happens
well,
to
I'm
composers.
becoming an arranger. I have not thought of thought up my own songs, but my own versions of other people's songs. Come to
Well,
live with for a while, and then I'm on to the next song.
that is a step. You start as an arranger, and then at some point you wake up and you have these jingles that are completely yours,
Oh, that would be nice.
right? I think this is what happened to Paul. Was it Paul McCartney was saying that the other day?
Oh yeah, Paul and I have been talking about that lately. Yeah,
Right.
the both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. He asked John Lennon, you know, this song, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, no, I didn't write it. Well, where did it come from? He asked her, I guess I wrote it. Let it be. I must have written
Yeah,
it.
but there was a lawsuit on one of their songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you and I don't remember the controversy, we'd have to ask the great Googler, but there was a lawsuit on one of their songs and they lost. They
Oh,
because
wow.
it might have been no, I can see it, but I can't hear it. Anyway, it's out there, so you have to be careful because there are so many people before us.
So, yeah, so we have to be careful. All right. Well, this song is a real earworm. So I'm gonna, this information is actually in your handout, but all I did was to make it into a presentation.
I have got
Okay.
one question, Anne, before we
Yeah.
begin.
Okay.
Um, Last time there were like slides, as I recall.
Yes, I put all the information in the slides in your handout. But you
Okay,
rather see the slide?
well, I mean the handout. You mean that was pineapple mango? Where is the information in the? This is not the handout that you're talking about?
No, no, no. Last time in number 4. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's in the PDF.
PDF.
Okay, I hadn't. I guess I didn't notice that there was a link to the slides there.
No, no, no. It's not a link to the slides. I put the content in the slides
Ah, okay.
into the PDF
That's it.
when
Yeah.
I sent it to you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. It should be there. If you see in the video something's different, then so I keep iterating. So by the time I get to Thursday, I've iterated enough, you know. But all right. So this pineapple, any other questions before we go into pineapple mango? All right. So Pineapple Mango is a song written by Daniel Ho and this other lady, Amy. I can't pronounce her last name. It's very long. Ku'ulei Aloha Stillman. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play this and just feel the how it sounds, okay? And if you just look at the song sheet, you see it's introduction twice. This chord sequence is pretty predictable. G, C, D, G, G, C, D, G, G, C, and then you have this little riff that you do on the ukulele, which is better seen in tablature form rather than to figure it out this way. I think these refer to which string, yeah, and then which fret. I'm not seeing this way of depicting tablature. So first of all, I better do this share computer sound. Okay, so I'll play it. Could you kind of strum along to it while they were singing? Yeah, you could kind of strum along, right?
Anne, did you give us that sheet with the San Jose looking one, or did you
No,
only? I
yeah,
only
no,
got.
I haven't. I haven't. Yeah, because
Okay.
I didn't think that we want to do that yet, but I'll attach it to the post class PDF today because I've got the counts in here. Okay, I'll show you now the next one. So, all right. So to do this, let's take a look at what I sent you. All right, I broke it up, and this is the first page of your PDF. This is a very special. There's a lot of syncopation in it. In other words, it's not da 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 dee da dee dee da 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 dee da dee dee da. It's not like that at all. It's da dee 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 da 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 da. So this, the first page that I sent you, is actually different from the lead sheet. Okay, I don't know if you noticed that the very first line is different from the second page of your PDF. Do you notice that? If you have it in front of you, this is the first page. So let's try to count this, okay? So this requires a low G. Do you have a low G? This is, okay, Daniel Ho introduced me to the low G. Bruce, you got a low G now? No. Okay, Kim, do you have a low G? Okay, so if you don't have a low G, don't worry about it. If you do, that's better. So this is cut time on the left-hand side. That's what it means. Common time plus looks like a cent. That means even though it's 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to feel it like there's only 2 beats per measure. So instead of feeling 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you have to feel like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's because it's very fast. It's a quarter note equals 164. So we'll take this slowly and see if we could do this. All right, 1 and 2. So what I've done was the red, okay, in the count is where you have to play. Okay, the black is where you don't play. And I've had to adjust the size of the font so that it would fit into the score. It doesn't fit exactly. So let's try that slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, that's the first one. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and... Oh, sorry. So what I did to make it easier is when I hear it at the very beginning, when I see the G, I immediately form a G chord, okay? Because that's good. And it's only here at the very end I need to reach my pinky to the 5th fret, yeah? And then I form the C chord, okay? When I see the D here, the 3rd measure, I form a D chord. And I form the G chord. Okay, so this makes it easier, all right? So form the chord first. So let's start from the beginning. Again, let's do it slowly. Oh, by the way, this little squiggle, if you haven't seen it before in the first measure, that means arpeggio. So unless there's an arrow showing the other way, you start from the C string and go. So it's a down strum for you. Okay. All right. I think it's okay to play the entire 4 strings. There's no reason why we need to give up the G string when we play the C chord. So let's try again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to sound. It's hard to count and play at the same time. Did that work for you, doing it slowly? So I just wonder if you want to, does anyone want to show it to me so we could hear your version? Steffi.
I have a question. You don't start on the, I'm just questioning the rhythm, because I don't know why you said that you're not starting. Like when I listened to you, it didn't sound like you were playing one. After you counted the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, you don't start exactly on the 1, but I did.
Oh, I should have started on the 1 in this one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I'm reading. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to do that. So,
Okay.
So.
Yes, very good. Okay. Now, just remember, it doesn't have to be precise. This is the first time we're trying it, and you'll see in the lead sheet that, which I'll show you after 2 more slides, it doesn't start on the 1. You know, it goes da, 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 da. So, you know, different versions. Let's try the second one. Second page. So what happens here is we could still do the G chord, but when we get to the C, we need to go all the way down to the 7th fret. Yeah. So the best thing is to just slide from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. That's easier, rather than pick up your fingers and try to do it. Okay. And then we could slide back. So let's do this slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You see what I did? I just slid. I went from the 5th fret, and then when I get to the 7th, I just slide to the 7th, and then I pluck it with my thumb and my index finger. So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So I slid from 7 back down to 3. And then already I'm getting ready for the D chord. Okay, so I'm making use of my index, my thumb, index, and middle fingers rather than the what you call it, the PIMA, because I have to use the A string so much, and my middle and index fingers allow me to alternate, and they're stronger than my ring finger. Okay, so let's try that again. G chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay, so that's how I did it. Okay, anyone want to try this? Or just Carolyn, are you leaning forward? Wait, can't hear you.
I was just leaning forward to try to see your fingers. I couldn't see what you were doing. You said something about using different fingers, and I couldn't pick it out on the screen.
Okay, let me do it again then. So I'm saying that, okay, let me go back. You could just use there's so many ways to do this. One way is just use your thumb as much as possible, okay, until you can't do it, all right? So if I do it slowly, in the beginning, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and now I can't do it. I have to use my index and thumb. Oh, sorry, 7th fret. Okay, and here is where I alternate because I'm on the same string. I just use my, like that, I pinched it for the C, so now I'm going to use my middle finger and the index finger and then my middle finger, okay, rather than the same finger. So now if you were to use PIMA, one finger, sorry, Carolyn?
Why wouldn't you use the same finger on the same string twice? It's not that fast.
Oh, this is a very fast song. So,
So that's why you alternate?
yep, that's why you alternate, especially for fast songs. Yeah. What's up? So if you use the same finger, let me see if I could do that. I don't know if you could do it that fast if you use the same finger. Yeah. It's just good practice when you're on the same string to use different fingers.
I find it faster using the same finger because it's not moving. Like if you don't have to move the position again.
I like you know, the last slide, we'll take a look at how Daniel Ho does it. You'll see he alternates different fingers when you're on the same string.
Yeah.
So you find it easy to do? Yeah, it's really fast. I mean, so if I were to try to do PIMA, how would that be, right? So let me try that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and no, I'm using my weak finger. My ring finger is weakest of all 4 fingers, and I'm telling it to pluck many times going like that. I just okay, you could try it, but my articulation is articulation, meaning how you pluck. How do you make it sound? Okay. All right, so this is something you could try different fingers to see how it works for you to make it sound the smoothest. So I just use my thumb for all of it until I can't anymore. I could still do it, and then I have to change. So why do this? You know, my index and ring finger for the C. Why do that when I could do this? If you could pinch it, that's so much more powerful. Yeah? And then use the middle finger. And then come back up. I could come back like this. And then so this pinching is quite powerful. And then I also say, in order to help with the syncopation, the offbeats, in other words, try to put an accent on the and. For example, in the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4. da. Okay, deliberately accenting on the and. That will help you play it. All right? Just deliberately accenting. So, all right, how about you all try it, and I'm going to just count. All right? That way it's better. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and. Okay, let's do it again. Did that help? No, it didn't count. Okay, Steffi's back. I'm going to count and I'm going to clap where you're supposed to play the notes. Okay, let's slow it down even more, just a little bit. So from 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 1. Okay? Was that helpful? I'll do it one more time. Even slower, okay? And so what I was saying is deliberately do an accent on the off beats so you could really get it in there. Because the offbeats, the ampersands, is usually when we don't play. So, but we do play here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 how's that? Okay? Good. All right. So you could replay that on the video. Okay.
So just for me,
Yeah.
I found if I didn't, I mean, maybe I'll add it later. If I didn't add the 0 under the first 7, it went smoothly all the way across.
Yes. In
So,
fact, yeah.
because then I don't have to move my left hand as much.
Yeah. You could also try that. Just do the melody, the top notes. Yeah. That's what's in the lead sheet, which I'll show you after we finish with this. So one more slide. All right, so this is the last bit, the pineapple, mango, and then you have the ukulele bit. Da 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 da. Okay, this is the fun bit. All right, so let's just try the beats first and then worry about the staccato and the rests later. All right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. Repeat. And 1. So what I do is, because it's an entire chord, I just do a down strum instead of try to pluck it. You could also pluck it, P-I-M-A, if you want to. Or you could just do a down strum very fast. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 then it ends on the G chord. So that's the count, the rhythm. Next step is the articulation. okay, when I talk about articulation, take a look at the first one. You have this line.
I had one question.
Yes,
Could
go
I,
ahead.
on that last G with the fermata, what
Mm-hmm.
did you say the squiggle is? It's like a forward roll on those
No,
strings? Or
yeah, a squiggle means arpeggio, okay? So what it means when you, is that you do it like that. That's what it means. It's a fast down strum, okay? Actually, it's up to you to decide how fast you want to do it. You could do a fast one like this. I just use my thumb to do it, or I could do it slowly. Okay, depends on the mood of the song. Because this is such a fast song, I don't want to end with a slow, you know, pineapple, mango, da da da. You know, just a fast, that's all it is. So, yeah, arpeggio. Yeah, especially if you play the piano, when you don't have the squiggle, it's a block chord. You play them all at the same time. Doom. Yeah, like this. Okay. So let's do this again. So the first one, it's got this line underneath. Okay. That's called tenuto. That means the very first chord, the note. That means try to make it long. Yeah, so da, and the second one, just let it ring. The second one is the staccato, so you want it short. So you want to stop it. So you want to mute it. So if you're playing with all four fingers, you want to pluck it and then stop it. Just pluck and stop, like that. Okay? So I'm going to stop share so you can see me. So if I pluck it, I have the G chord like this. I pluck it, let it ring, and second time I pluck it again, and I stop it. You know, I could stop it like this, but it's faster to just like that. Okay? All right? So, I mean, it's hard to mute with the left hand on this. So, yeah, that's right. So I want to hear this pineapple, mango. So the same thing. I would pluck with all four fingers, like this. Yeah. 1 and 2 and, because staccato means short. 1 and 2 and. So it's literally like instead of an eighth note, it's like half as much, 16th note. Yeah, that's what staccato. Staccato just like halves the duration. Yeah. And then, so when I do the third measure, I just want to stop it. Like, hear that? I use my left finger to stop it. Okay? All these rests is very short. Instead of see, hear the difference in articulation? The second time I played it was without any rests, without staccato. So just this, I'm talking about the okay, as opposed to hear the slight difference, right? The second way is how we want it. Da, 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 da. So you could help your articulation by, in the left hand, pressing it, you know, and release it. Squeeze and release. Can you all see when I do this? What I mean by squeeze and release, I press the left hand, I play, so second fret, okay? I have this, but I release it, you see? So instead of letting it ring, if I release it, it's like the left hand release. Let's try that. Da. Squeeze, release. Sorry. So I keep on pressing, press, release. Hear the difference as opposed to if I just leave it. Sorry. Do you hear the difference in articulation? Yeah. You have short, detached sounds versus let it ring sound. And that's using my left finger to press when I'm playing it, release lightly to mute it. Okay. All right. So in terms of fingering, what do you use? Well, if you decide to use PIMA, all 4 fingers, then it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's using PIMA. Now try another one, which is I alternate my fingers. So this time let me use all 4 fingers to do the first 2 chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm trying to avoid using my ring finger and just use my 2 index and middle finger to alternate. Now, can you do it with just your thumb? Yeah, let's try just using our thumb. Suppose we only have our thumb. Only use your thumb to play this. Ready? 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, sorry. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I could also do that, use just the thumb, but in which case I'll use my palm to mute it. Okay, let's do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's also possible. And then the last one. Okay. Bruce, you want to say something? Or?
No, I was just changing my view. Although, yeah, I guess listening to some of the tutorials, it came out with a mixed version that was kind of like, how would that go? And then it, like with a D7, something like that, that kind of mixes the plucking with the chord.
Yes, I'm glad you were looking at the video tutorials, because this is the version that they have that's like freely available. Yeah, it's just one version.
I found that Daniel Ho was a little bit too difficult to copy directly, so there was this young guy who has a whole ukulele website, and he seemed pretty good at it, helping you to understand what he was doing.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Very good. So let's try.
Who was that, Bruce? What was the name of the person?
It's the one that comes out automatically where it says ukulele tutorial down in the corner here.
Oh, it's the link that I gave you?
It's one of the links that she gave us. Let's see, I can probably look it up
Is
here.
that the Brad Bodassi one?
Oh, yes, that's right. That's his name.
Okay, what's interesting, and a question I had that came up was, he strums in a different place than this blue copy that you sent us, Anne. And this may be a side question, but what I'm often wondering, if I'm trying to make my own chord melody arrangement and just from like a lead sheet where there's melody notes, where to insert the chords. And he inserted them at a different place than where we are on this. And how do you decide?
Oh gosh. So the version that I just used was the one that Daniel Ho gave me that is freely available, and they use it to advertise their mango, basically their ukuleles. Okay. So it's the one that he just gives out to everybody. And of course, the next one that I'm showing you is the lead sheet that people follow. It's different. Just take a look. So in terms of how do you decide, you just need to decide which version you're going to do. Look at this. Do you see the difference from the one we just did?
More the question on when you're doing it yourself. If you just have a lead sheet like this, different people, the different versions that you gave us or are online have the chord strum amidst the melody notes in different places. And I'm wondering, it just seems random to me. I don't see any rhyme or reason on approach. Is there some pattern or that makes sense, or do you just sort of listen and try to either do your own thing or match the original?
It's about the different skill levels. The one that I showed you is the one that is freely available, and it's like the lowest skill level, so it starts on the 1. Yeah, it starts on the 1. Can you hear me? Whereas this one is the lead sheet. This is not freely available. Okay, and this one doesn't start on the 1. It starts on the and. But you notice that in both cases, the pineapple mango is the same. At the very end, it's always pineapple mango, da 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 da. It should be like that. Okay. So, I mean, that's a good question. If you're going to play together as an ensemble, then you have to decide you all follow the same rhythm. Otherwise, you'll come apart. And then usually in an ensemble, the more advanced people would want to play riffs or chords, whereas different people will play different parts. So let's take a look at this one. So this one doesn't have the tab, all right? But if you follow the tab enough, you can figure this out. So this one is, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And again, just play the chord. It pretty much follows the chord. So this is 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So yeah. So this is slightly different, but again, I put the counts in here, which you could fill out. And let's take a look at the ending, pineapple mango. It should be the same as before. The previous, we just had pine up. Oh, this is slightly different as well from the previous version, because the previous version was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? 1 and 2 and 3. This one is different. This is 3 and 4 and pine. It's different. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I think only this bit is the same. Dum, da, 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 dum. That is the same. So already there's two, these are the basic stuff. The previous one, which is freely available, that they use to give away to people to have them play this, and then the lead sheet, which is already different from that. Okay. So let's take a look at how Daniel Ho does it and look at his right hand. Sorry, Carolyn?
The sort of this blizzard of options I find more confusing and not helpful. And I'm just wondering how to choose other than by, skill level, and that this is a common problem that I have, and that I just see there's such a blizzard of options, and to really come to a thing. And it's more than just skill level, it's the actual, so what I often do is just buy the original and skip everybody else's interpretations and try to start from there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I always try to go back to the composer. So in this case, I look at what Daniel Ho does, but he usually does a difficult version. That's the problem. What we're going to watch now is his solo version. But from that, I could try to elicit or extract the rhythm of the basic melody. Does he start on the beat or does he start on the offbeat? But he plays really fast, so you got to slow the tempo down in YouTube to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, let me share that with you. Share the computer sound. Okay. So let's look at his right hand technique, especially. What does he use? Okay. And
this is the solo ukulele arrangement for Pineapple Mango. The tempo is 164 and we have 4 measures of count in. Here we go. 2, 3, 4.
okay, he goes beyond. Notice there's an introduction, which is not present in our version. Yeah. I could add that to our slides, actually, the introduction, but the basic thing is this. The right hand solo, did you notice what he used? If you slow down, you'll see that. He'll use his thumb, and then he'll try to he would actually use his middle and index finger, to do the thing, rather than all 4 fingers. So, all right, this is what I wanted to talk about for the next 2 weeks that we don't have class, to get together with a study buddy to schedule a practice session and I just wonder if you all would be interested in exercises to build your chord fingering strength, your left hand, chord switching, right hand finger picking technique, strumming, muting techniques, rhythm and time. I should also put hammering, pulling off, and sliding technique, because we talked about all of this. Articulation, dynamics, meaning soft, loud, getting softer, getting louder. And then in this case, this song is quite challenging because it's actually Hawaiian song. Okay, I'll show you what what it looks like. I'll send you this. This is the song sheet. You know, it's all in Hawaiian. And it's only Pineapple Mango that's in English. The rest is all Hawaiian. I mean, here's translation, but yeah. So that's basically it. All right. So I would say watch the first video and then just try to strum along to it until you get the feel of it, you know. So it's down, 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 da, 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 da. It's G, G, C, C, D, D, da, da, D. That's basically the whole riff. Pineapple, mango, da, 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 da. Pineapple, mango, da, 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 da. Something like that. And then you have these. Oh boy. Kim, do you think this is a hard song?
Yeah, but I think some others are harder.
The hardest.
I like this song.
You like this song? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to Hawaii, you could hear it in the background sometimes. Like you'll be talking, having dinner with someone, and suddenly the song will show up, you know, because they play it on the radio and kind of background. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you heard of this song before I introduced it? Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Good, good, good. And by the way, I used to get that from my mom. She used to get free pineapples, small ones. And then my landlord had mangoes and a colleague of mine had 5 mango trees. I mean, the really big, red, juicy Hayden mangoes, you know. And the thing is, if anybody comes by, any locals come by and say, oh, can I pick your mango? You cannot say no, because otherwise there might be a fight. You have to say, oh yeah, go ahead. So I decided to do that with other neighbors. Oh, can I pick your mango? And they go, well, actually, we've got family. We've got a lot of people, you know. It's not just us, you know. We have grandchildren. They also want our mangoes. So I got in trouble.
Well, one time I was there was a wedding in Hawaii that I went to, and we were just in a parking lot somewhere, and there were, mangoes all over the ground. So I just opened my trunk and filled my trunk with mangoes. That were my fruit for the week. It was great. It was good, yeah. It's better than the from the supermarkets here.
So after I left Maui in summer of 2016, I refused to buy mango or avocado or papaya because I just knew they wouldn't be as good. I just refused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same experience when I lived in Zanzibar for 8 years.
You had mangoes there?
Yeah, and everything is about this big. I mean, so even avocados are 4 times as big as California avocados. I mean, really huge. And in February, I had my avocado tree, and so that would be my lunch. I just slice it open and put a little salt and oil in it up.
So you know how it is. Yeah, my neighbor had an avocado tree, but they didn't eat avocados. So one time I came home and there were 4 guys from the local government, count. They were hired, they were called to, just pick the avocados and get rid of them. So
Throw it away.
Well, I mean, they were picking to take home, but they were putting them in their T-shirts. So I said, "Would you like to have some boxes?" So I had some empty boxes. They thanked me so much, these government guys, and they said, "Would you like to have some?" I said, "Sure." So they gave me a huge box of avocados. Can you believe that? And I had a fig tree, you know, twice a year, figs. Nobody picked them. And then I decided to, throw the seeds of the papaya into the ground, 4 different corners of my garden, and they just grew. Papaya that were so juicy, you just pick them off and they're just succulent. Oh, sorry, Steph, you missed this whole conversation about mangoes and pineapple and papayas, and now it's down to and figs and
You mean you have 2 growing seasons there? You said you pick the figs twice a year?
yeah, yeah.
Great.
Oh, you're making me jealous.
Yeah, and it's true. The lemons are huge. Everything is just so.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, Betty. You can imagine my life is a little complicated right now.
Oh, yes.
So Anne, we're about to take a 2-week break. So do we have our marching orders? I'll watch the recording.
Yes, the marching orders is my last slide. Basically, here we go. My last slide is saying, here we go.
Oh,
Yeah. Choose a buddy to schedule practice sessions.
all right. Great.
Daily exercises to build chord finger. Do you all have exercises to do? All these exercises? You want me to create them for you?
That would be great, Anne. The woman who leads our finger picking thing on Thursdays, her name is Linda Green, and she's been having us do things like, those chords where you have 4 fingers down, and then working our way, like doing an inchworm type thing, and working our way up and down the neck and stuff. But if you have other exercises, that's always good.
Okay, I'll create them. That's good. And speaking of exercises and schedule, I want to check with you all first. I have to create my schedule for September. And I don't know if you want to continue to have another Pluck and Strum series. I quite like this because it forces me to focus on one song, It forces me to not be so scatterbrained and try too many songs at once. But I want to do a Tuesday. Are you free on Tuesdays from 11 to 12?
You want to make it later in the day.
Yeah, just by an hour, 11 to 12. I know
Yeah, no problem.
I'm not sure.
you're not sure? Okay.
I can't, I'm not making any plans at the moment. I'm just sort of on hold.
Right, because of your dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandable. So I sent out an email to everybody for the early bird registration till what I've decided is actually if I give a 8-week class, the last day, the 8th one, is review and performance. I really like everyone to perform on the last day, So this is the 7-session class. So when we visit again, beginning of September, it would be to see what everybody did over the 2-week break, yeah? And then I like you all to perform at the 3-chord Thursday on the 17th of September.
Choose one of the 5 songs that we've done together, basically.
Yeah, that's right. And also our last class, which is the 10th of September, is it 10th? 9th of September, it will be prepare us to find, to refine our technique, because there's so much in there. Yeah, like Steffi was saying, there's so much in every song. So much. All right.
So we're to choose one song to perform and focus on?
Yeah, choose one song. I would say look at 2. I mean, this is why I like, for the study buddy, I like you to look. I'm going to send an email to all of you in all my 3 classes. so you could arrange for that to happen. Yeah? How's that? Okay, great. And I said, if you want to come to my other classes, especially like the Thursday one at 4:30, you're welcome to. I only had, I think, 2 or 3 people last week because one person didn't show up and another person came to the Wednesday evening class. So I feel like, wow,
It's hard to get anybody to show up for August, even if we're locked in.
It is. Yeah.
I think and so many things that I'm involved with, and August is just like downtime. It's too darn hot.
I feel it. This is the first time in 6 years that I'm working in August. And I just feel my rebellion.
Well, let me give you a little advice.
Yeah. Don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I used to not work in July. And then one summer they needed me when I was working for another company. They needed me in July. And then they just didn't recognize that I needed July's off anymore. So don't give us the idea that you are available in August.
Okay.
And don't give yourself the idea, and create that space for yourself.
All right. Thanks, Steffi. Okay, well, did anybody want to index? We had nobody indexing last YouTube because I actually created the YouTube after I showed you the Zoom files. But if you feel it's helpful, I know if you haven't done it yet, you probably don't think it's helpful, but once you've done it, then I think you might think it's helpful, right? Steffi and Bruce, I'm looking at you. I don't know if Kim, do you want to try it?
I'll try it.
Okay, all right. So I guess we got room tomorrow for 1970 songs.
Do you know that music ended somewhere around 1969, right?
Well, I collected like 38 songs born in 1970, and so far we've just got a few people who are singing. And you know what? The Brookline, did I tell you the Brookline Interactive Group? They've given me a 1-hour spot on Thursdays, 6 o'clock.
Wait, Brookline, Mass?
Brookline, Massachusetts, yeah, to air our ukulele activities, workshops, whatever. So
Cool.
I pulled an all-nighter 2 days ago, just editing our last 3-chord Thursday, which was one-word title songs. It went from 1 hour down to 40 minutes. I sort of kind of reduced the length of time for people who didn't sing as well as those who sang it well. So some people I gave them more minutes. So it went down to 40 minutes. But it should be airing, I think this Thursday, 6 o'clock. I have to double check. But maybe not next week because they have a live committee meeting. But they thought ukulele would be good for people, community.
It is.
So yeah.
I'll give a little self-promotion. Brett McQueen, who wrote this book, Ukulele Exercises for Dummies.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he had a contest, and I did not win. He had just a raffle, and the way to enter was to play any of his arrangements. He chose a few arrangements, and so I entered twice, and then he sent out an email saying, if you write, another way to enter is to speak for, about my teaching for 1 to 2 minutes. And so I figured I'll put in another entry. And I'm now in one of his promotional videos for finger.
Wow!
Oh, that's fun.
That's a great idea.
It is a good idea. And you have that relationship with the store in Colorado.
Yeah.
So if you could get them to donate something, you could do a raffle that way. It was really fun. And for everybody who put in an entry, he put their names on a card and he picked it out. And I didn't win.
That's a great idea. No. Uku Global is willing to do that. They're all up, whatever, And
I wanted the $389 tenor ukulele that they were. that they have. But and because I mean, how many? I know people collect them. I don't need a million instruments, but that would have been fun. And it was fun to enter.
Oh, I should do that. Yeah, well, Bruce, you already won two workshops, two classes.
Oh, Bruce, I want to hear. Yeah, I couldn't be on last Thursday. I want to hear what you did with the boomer songs.
Oh, I
I
wasn't on
won
for
one.
last week either. I think was that last. That was 2 weeks.
Previous one. It was the
Previous-
I
previous.
haven't. Yeah, I've been a little occupied.
No, the one word songs. I missed that one.
Somebody else sent me something and then last minute withdrew, you know.
Uh,
But after she watched the video that you did, you know, Bruce, your song,
She was.
she said,
Oh,
"Oh, I should have entered."
After she saw how bad mine was. Well, yeah, because it was so disconnected. You know, having 38 songs in a row, and
I know. I did the same thing. I started doing
sometimes
it, and I
you
thought
can't
this
find
is
the
not
right
the best
key.
use of my time.
In fact, when I gave you, I guess the next day, and the improved chord chart, I tried to have like a 5/7 chord that led into it, so that you would get the right key in your ear, and it was easier to sing. But I didn't have that advantage when I was trying to do it myself, and so I often was clueless about where to start.
Well, Bruce, why don't you keep practicing that and then, you know, let's record that at a three-chord Thursday so we could put it on Brookline television.
I'll have to
Yeah.
practice quite a bit, but
Yeah,
yeah, I guess that is a possibility.
yeah.
Now, is this Brookline online too, or is it only on regular TV?
No, it's online. They do live streaming. It's online, and I could
Bruce,
send
we are locked down. Nobody's doing anything in person, especially music.
Oh,
So,
okay.
You open your mouth.
did everybody get my email about early registration about the new courses? My ukulele enthusiast. Yeah, I got the link in there, I think, and also in the three-chord Thursday for this Thursday because I'm going to record that. What I really need is somebody who's good at video editing, because I tell you, it took me so long. Can you imagine
6 hours.
5 hours to edit? You know, it's like
Mhm.
half an
It's
hour.
a huge job. I have a friend who does this professionally, and he's up all hours constantly working.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
just last week, my husband was able to hire him for a business thing, a 5-minute speech where people, you know, he was addressing these, he represents franchisee associations. And so this was so that all the franchisees could get the answers to, you know, what's going on between them and the franchisor. And I thought he would just read it and that's that. Like I offered to hold up the camera, and it is so much work.
it's so much work.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So I'm going to send you all an email to everybody so you could all contact each other. So
Okay.
we could make it happen. That's your assignment. And I'll work on some exercises. It won't be immediate. I'll have to put
Great.
something.
You
Okay.
know, you don't have to make them up. I'm sure that there are lots of
I'm
exercises.
sure they're there. Yeah, already
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have
existing.
a whole book of them. So, what's your favorite
Well,
type of
yeah.
exercise from the Dummies
Well,
book?
this is a great. This is when I first started playing a few years ago. My son had this girlfriend from France, and she stayed with us for a few weeks, because when the girlfriend comes from France, they don't, you know, go back and forth.
That's
And my son had to leave for a weekend because there was a bachelor party, and so she taught me how to play ukulele that weekend. She taught me, you know, the starts. So when they broke up, I'm sure I've told you this before. When they broke up, I said, Adam, we'll always have ukulele. Yeah.
See, actually,
But
this is what I want to do. I want to interview different people, you know, for this TV show. I see, like, how did you get into the ukulele? Won't that be fun to do?
yeah, you know what? You should do that. I will send you the Brett McQueen email from yesterday,
Okay, yeah,
and,
do that.
and
That would
you
be
could
great.
see what they did. It's really nice because when you cut in and you find out what this person's story is, it just makes it more personal.
Yeah, yesterday I moderated a 90-minute roundtable panel of ukulele instructors, which I
Wow.
plan to do once a month, and it was literally around the world, UK, US, Canada, Australia, even Asia, Malaysia.
Wow. Wow. Cool.
Yeah,
I
because
love
I'm in a
those
good time
songs.
zone.
I
Yeah.
love the international songs where someone, in fact, you know, I'm arranging Ripple right now, but there is a really nice online version, and you've got the guy playing in Israel and the guy playing in Africa and the guy in South America. And I just love when that, you know,
Yeah, it's wonderful. Different
Yeah.
accents, different perspectives, different ways.
right.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop. Any last minute things? I've
Well, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
okay. All right. I'll
Have a
send
good
you all.
vacation, Anne.
Thank you.
Actually, it's
Yeah.
3
Good
weeks.
vacation.
3
3
weeks.
weeks.
3 weeks.
2nd
That's
of
right.
September.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.